everyone, I'm Miss McCool.
And I'm Ms. Raboski.
And we are college and career advisors, and today we're going to go over the senior timeline for rising juniors.
All right, so first up, we just have a little page for table of contents. Here you can just take a quick look and see what to expect for your senior year. All right, so summer. You're going to be starting your college list and beginning campus visits. So when you're beginning to look at colleges, you're going to make a list of any colleges you're interested, whether it's in-state or out-of-state. Make the list about 20 to 25 schools, including reach, match, and safety schools. Campus tours are also really important to help during the college search process. Campus tours will give you a much better idea of what college is like and where you'd be happy at. It also gives you a chance to ask questions, meet other prospective students, and understand the college on a deeper level. And it also helps you narrow down your list of colleges. It's also a great idea to talk with faculty, staff, and students at the campuses while you're there.
So for September, you have a couple things you need to do. You want to meet with your counselor. You want to go over your grades and extracurriculars. Start planning for those college essays and letters of recommendation. You do also want to begin to review your college applications, and if necessary, you may want to retake the ACT or SAT. So it's really important to meet with your counselor early in the year. They're going to give you a valuable perspective about schools on your list and help you with the application process. You should also take this time to make sure you're fulfilling all of your requirements for high school graduation. Another very important reminder is to not let your grades sink. Admissions counselors will look at the first half of your senior year to see if you're still challenging yourself and succeeding. Make sure you're participating in extracurricular activities and leadership opportunities as well. Those really make you look like a good candidate for whichever school you want to go to. You also want to take this time to begin planning for your essays and letters of recommendation. You want to allow yourself plenty of time to formulate these essays. A lot of times the questions are really broad, so you want to spend some time reflecting on the essays so you can write one that will make you stand out. You also want to have maybe your teachers, your parents, or some friends read over the essay and offer you some constructive criticism on things you can improve on. You also would want to ask about 1 to 3 teachers for a letter of recommendation. The amount of letters that you're going to need is going to depend on the school you're going to. You want to ask teachers or mentors that you have a good relationship with. They have a good perspective of who you are. You don't really want to ask any like family members for this either, so that's another thing to keep in mind. You also want to take some time to begin to review your college applications. With each application, write out a schedule of deadlines so you don't miss anything down the road. So this could be in like an Excel spreadsheet that you just have on hand. This is especially important if you're thinking of applying for an early decision or early action deadlines. If you're not happy with your scores for the ACT or SAT, check on the College Board site to see when retakes are happening in your area. A lot of colleges this year are going to be test optional, meaning you're not required to submit a test score. Keep in mind, if you do not submit a test score, they're going to put a bigger emphasis on your grades, the extracurricular activities that you participated in, and your essays and the rigor of your course load. Also keep in mind that these scores may be necessary for you to be considered for merit scholarships as well.
All right, so now on to October. So October is a very exciting month. The FAFSA application opens up, and it's also college application month. So during this month, you're going to want to complete the free application for federal student aid. To apply for most financial aid, you'll need to complete the FAFSA. It opens on October 1st. It's a great idea just to kind of get out of the way as soon as it opens, and then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year. If you're confused about the FAFSA or don't know much about it, that's completely all right. There's many people within your school or even your community members who are able to help. So college application month, you're going to want to narrow your list of colleges to between 5 and 10. You're going to meet with a counselor about your college choices. And if you haven't done so yet, you're going to download college applications and financial aid forms. You're also going to want to plan to visit as many of these colleges as possible. Many colleges waive their application fees during the month of October, so it's also a great idea to take advantage of this and get those applications out of the way. If needed, ask one of your counselors to help you request a fee waiver if you can't afford applications or test fees.
So for November, you're going to want to really begin working on those applications. Keep in mind the early decision deadline. Start thinking about financial aid and scholarships. And again, a big importance is going to be placed on your grades. So by now you should know what schools you're going to be applying to. Ideally, it's going to be about 5 or 6 schools. You want to give yourself ample time in November to complete all the applications and get feedback on your essays. Another thing to keep in mind is if you're interested in early decision, prepare for that early. Colleges may require test scores or applications between November 1st to November 15th, depending on the school that you want to go to. Deadlines for financial aid and scholarships are still further down the road, but the sooner you apply, the better. Knowing what kind of aid packages are available to you will help you weigh the cost of different schools. And another, again, important reminder is the semester is going to end probably mid-December. So if you need to improve your grades, now is the time to do it. Even if you've already been accepted into a school, the decision can be reversed if your grades aren't up to par.
All right, so December and January. In December and January, you're going to want some applications, and then early acceptance is also during this time. So most colleges have regular application deadlines sometime in December. Make sure you've been keeping track of all deadlines. It can vary from school to school. Make sure you don't leave anything to the last minute. Be prepared and always be aware of these dates as they approach. If you apply to a school through early decision or early action and are accepted, you will receive a letter sometime in December.
February and March. So March 1st is the FAFSA priority deadline. Financial aid is another important thing to pay attention to during these months. We're going to go over late applications and acceptance letters as well. So March 1st is the date you need to have your FAFSA form in by to be considered for the most amount of money. Again, the earlier the better, so the closer to the October 1st date that you can submit your FAFSA, the better. You will also be receiving a student aid report or a SAR at this time. You want to review this carefully and make sure that all the information is accurate. Discrepancies on this form may result in the loss of money. It is also an important consideration when choosing what college to attend. So some schools do have late deadlines or rolling admission policies, meaning that there's no set deadline that applications may be submitted. You do want, again, the earlier the better, stick to that first initial date that they have set for the application deadlines just to be considered as a priority. Acceptance, rejection, and wait list letters may be arriving as early as February or March. In most cases, you'll have to wait until the end of April to get your decisions. So if you haven't received any acceptance letters at this time, don't worry.
All right, so April. April, you're going to be making your final decisions and notifying other schools. If you're accepted to multiple schools, weigh all of your options carefully before making your final decision. Talk with parents, other family members, teachers, mentors, and friends. It's also a good idea to reach back out to those schools and maybe talk to the counselors, students at the school, staff, and faculty just to get a better idea. Take a good hard look at finances, including financial aid and cost of living expenses at each school. If possible, visit the campuses again. Now that you've been accepted, your perspective will be vastly different and you can ask much more detailed questions. Once you've made your decision, notify the other schools that accept you as soon as possible. They will have plenty of waitlist applicants anxiously waiting for seats to open up.
So for May and June, this is probably when you have to pay a deposit deadline. You should send your final transcripts in at this time. You will be taking AP exams at this time if you have taken AP courses, and you should also be sending out thank you letters. So typically colleges have a deposit deadline of May 1st, which you may also hear regarded to as decision day. You may have already signaled your intent to enroll, but this is the time to commit financially. Your acceptance letter will contain all the details about this number. Once you've graduated, you do want to send your final high school transcript to your new college through Parchment. This may help you secure a scholarship or qualify for other competitive academic programs. AP exams give you the opportunity to earn college credit. So if you score a 4 or 5 on an AP exam, that will translate to college credit, which will save you money in the long run. So if you have this chance, definitely take it. And another important component of this whole process is sending out thank you letters. So you didn't get here by yourself. You had those who reviewed your application, your essays, and wrote you recommendation letters. So it's just a nice thing to do to write them a little personalized letter to thank them for all the help they gave you.
All right, so the summer before college. So during this time, orientation, register for classes, purchase required materials for classes in dorm room, and get to know your roommate if you have a roommate. So orientation, you're going to want to schedule an orientation session. During orientation, it will give you key information about where things are on campus. You'll be able to pick your courses with the help of an advisor. You also get the chance to see your dorm, eating facilities, and the buildings on campus. It will also give you the chance to get familiar with your school portal. You also want to purchase materials for your class in your dorm room. Check your student portal and class syllabus to learn what materials are needed for your classes. Check with your university to learn what items you need to purchase for your dorm room. As far as purchasing books and whatnot, it's always a great idea to check not only at the school's bookstore, but also on Chegg, and there's other online websites that you can get the books for much cheaper, so it's always a great idea to look into. If you have a roommate, get to know your roommate over the summer, maybe text them, add them on social media to begin building that relationship. This is also the time to decide who is purchasing what for your dorm room.
And that's it for us today, guys. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our workshop. If you have any questions about financial aid, scholarships, FAFSA, choosing a college, feel free to reach out to either of us using the emails on our screen. Bye.
Bye.